What's going on, folks? Welcome back to another episode. Starting the day off in the dirt. Feels good to be in the dirt. Wearing the old beefcake construction gear, ready to rock and roll. If you guys missed episode 1, I'd suggest you go watch it because now it looks like this. Before, it looked like this. We were like, hey, let's build a dam across this. And now it basically looks like this, if that gives you any perspective. So part number 1 is up. Go check it out if you guys have not. Basically, this has been a long journey of planning and deliberately just trying to map out where we want to do this. But the idea is we're going to build a cabin pond, meaning there's going to be a pond right here, and then we're going to build a cabin on it. So the pond is going to be back here. So for those of you guys who are just tuning in for the first time, again, you need to go watch episode 1 because you're already behind. You got to go get caught up because a lot of this probably won't make sense. You're just like, cool, Flair's building a pond in his back, but it goes way deeper than that. It was complicated. So essentially, just kind of a quick recap for you guys. We've got a pond already, a backyard pond, and that right there, that is the dam back there. And there's an overflow, which creates this thing. So this has just been marsh. We've played paintball down here. That was a survival shelter that we built, I don't know, many months ago. Back in the winter, we built a survival shelter and did rock cooking videos out there. So if you guys have been watching for a while, just to refresh your memory. And then we cleared a bunch of trails up there in an episode, and we were planning on building the cabin up where you guys can see up there, there's a bulldozer. Well, I don't think we're gonna put the cabin up there anymore. I think we're gonna try to put it down here somewhere near the water's edge so you can actually see the pond from the cabin. So our idea is we want to build an off-grid cabin. I've always wanted a cabin. Cabin life is dope. Actually, I tried buying a cabin in a pond. That was like 2 miles from my house, and the deal ended up falling through. They sold to somebody else. So I was like, screw it. Let's just do it in my backyard. We already got the land. We don't need to go buy no more land. Let's just use what we have. So I had the vision to build a pond back here, and contacted a guy named Chad. Him and his dad are out here right now, and they build ponds for a living, and they know what they're doing. I mean, it is incredible what they've done so far. I mean, they took something that was literally, like I said, it looked like this. It was marshy, swampy, trees, and they cleared all this out. So episode 1 we showed clearing all this out, and so now you can see they kind of set the stage for the dam itself. They got dozers, we've got packers, obviously excavators, and so now they're just going to clear the rest of this out. They got to take some of these trees out, and then he's going to take all this dirt and start moving it this way. So right kind of where the mule is where the dam's going to be. Same thing with the excavator. This is going to be the dam, so where I'm standing is probably going to be water, and then that would be a nice beautiful 2-acre largie and bluegill catfish filled. Well, actually I don't know what we're putting in here, but it's going to be filled with fish. Hopefully by the end of this fall. We're going to end up trying to take some fish from the current pond and stocking in here, especially the bass because they're stunted. But this is our new pond, new project, starting from scratch. I've never started from scratch on a pond in my entire life. I know nothing about it, so we still have a lot to do, but I'm just trying to recap a little bit. So episode 1, we cleared everything out. Episode 2, we're going to start building the dam up, building up the dirt, getting it going. And then I don't know how many episodes this is going to be, but at some point we've got to go out there, clear some of those trees, and dig down to make sure it's nice and deep for those bass so they don't have winter kill issues. We've got to sink some structure in here before we flood it. Then we've got to flood it. Then we got to stock it. There's a bunch more coming, so stay tuned. This is a big project. This is probably the biggest project now I think about. I mean, the shop was a decent sized project, but as far as like a land development project, this is the biggest one we've ever done on my property, and so far it's looking absolutely amazing. So with that being said, you guys enjoy the time lapse of moving dirt and clearing trees. Wait, I almost forgot. Before you guys enjoy the time lapse, I want to say we got a big beefcake merch drop coming on October 20th. So mark your calendars. We've got just a couple days left. We've got this hoodie with a bunch of other colors. You can see the back of this hoodie. Ocean approved beefcake construction, okay? This is the good stuff, heavy duty stuff, keep you warm throughout the winter. Bunch of other colors. We got hats like this. You got a shirt on?
I do, hang on.
Let me see the shirt, guy.
Hang on.
Let me see. Oh God.
Can you see it?
Oh, there you go, beefcake construction. Look at that, American flag made out of screws and wrenches. What is more American than that? So get ready, October 20th, we are going to be dropping a bunch of new designs. I'll put them up here. So get ready, October 20th, use promo code FLAIR, get 15% off your entire purchase. That's my shameless plug for no one wanted to sponsor this pond series. So we're sponsoring it ourselves, all right? You guys stay tuned. What's going on, folks? It's the next day. I want to give you guys a quick update. Hope you guys enjoyed the time lapse. The boys, they did some work. They moved all the trees that were sitting there. They moved them over here. So this is going to be kind of the, it's the burn pile essentially. But what we might end up doing, depending on kind of how it all plays out, is I might actually go in there later with maybe a four-wheeler or a mule or something and yank out a couple of them that I think would work well for fish structure, like a big tree trunk, so you could cut it off and just use the root system, something that's got a lot of substance to it. You know, one long log like that doesn't do a ton of good, but using something like a big tree trunk with a bunch of roots, something bushy, stuff like that. I don't want it to go to waste. You know, we're not gonna sit here and cut it up and save it for firewood. So most people, what they do is they burn something like this. It's kind of like a big burn pile, but the fish will like it, certain parts of it and stuff like that. Again, I'm not gonna use all of it because it's too much. I mean, like, that would be way too much structure for this pond. It's literally taking up like a quarter of the pond. You don't want that much structure in there. I mean, you do, but like, for the sake of not losing a billion Guggen lures, you don't really want to. At some point before we burn, I'll go in there and take a couple of nice big sturdy pieces I know that won't rot very quickly and will last and give some good fish habitat, and we'll kind of drag some of them out. And I'm sure some of those trees are going to get cleared out as well with that survival shelter being there. Some of these will get cleared out and we'll end up moving those around. That'll happen in a different part. But what they did was essentially, oh, see, we got the dogs out here too. They love it. They love the new pond that's not quite a pond yet. But this is the shape of the edge. So now you can see kind of how the dam is forming. This is part of it, and then obviously they got to build it up way more down that way. But they dug this up, put it back up on top. They've got the packer out, and right now we're pumping water. I'll show you how much water gathered here. Like I said, the nice thing about this is not going to be like the duck pond. Even if this pond leaks, which it should, there's no way that we're going to run out of water because of the flow from the pond up there. We literally have a pond right there. Like, that's probably 7 foot right there. It's a nice big deep valley, and it completely filled up in less than 24 hours. Literally, this is the next morning from when we stopped filming yesterday, and it is completely full of water. And Millie's excited. Lucy, she's excited about it. And so we're pumping the water out. We just got to kind of continually pump it out, make sure it stays dry. You don't want it to be coming over this, because then that's going to basically compromise that whole area. So you don't want the water to come over the dam yet. Well, you never want it to go over the dam, but especially right now, because then we won't be able to drag equipment across it. So every day, got to pump it, kind of pump it dry, pump it back into the creek back there, and then they're going to keep building this up. But I'm actually leaving town for a few days, so I will not be here to personally see the progress. But Banjo and Pool Jet are going to be here, and so they're going to be down here documenting it for you guys and for me. And we might even do some FaceTime calls and stuff like that to do some quick updates. I shouldn't miss a ton of this, but I'm gonna miss a chunk of it. You know, the main part of the dam building, and you know, we're gonna dig out a bunch of that, make some nice deep pockets for fish. I'm probably gonna miss some of that. It was unfortunate timing, but I didn't want to tell the crew here to wait on me. So I wanted to make sure they got in as soon as they possibly could. So even though I'm gonna be gone, I want them to keep working. So Pool Jet and Banjo are gonna take over the vlog for the time being, for a couple days here, and then I'll be back and update you guys. Anyway, with that being said, enjoy the time lapse, the B-roll, the drone footage of the new cabin pond being built. You guys stay tuned. I am back, folks. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the B-roll, the time-lapse, the drone shots, stuff like that. We didn't actually do like any updates or anything like that. Banjo didn't come out and give anything. One reason is because there's not really a cell phone service out here, so he couldn't really FaceTime me. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the B-roll, the time-lapse, like I said, the drone and all that stuff. But this is absolutely insane. This is my first time seeing it. Oh, the dogs are running. See you later, dog. I just basically started over here. This is where they were robbing dirt. But look at this thing. This thing, I don't know if you guys can tell in the B-roll and stuff how big this is, but look at the tire. The tire is literally almost as tall as me. Like, well, if I don't, I'm up on a hill, but you guys, here, look at this. This is more flat ground, okay? These tires are at least probably 5 feet tall. This is absolutely insane. It's a 6-wheeled, it's an articulating dump truck trailer thing, to where basically it can maneuver really easily. So that's the first time I've seen that. I know you guys saw it in the B-roll and stuff like that, but the first time I've seen that. Obviously we got Dozer and the excavator, but this is insane how much dirt. I haven't seen the dam yet, okay? You guys have seen it before me, actually, was watching this video, but like, this is, I did not imagine this, okay? When he's like, where do you want us to take dirt from? I'm like, oh, just right over here. This is where we're not gonna build a cabin or anything. You know, especially if it turns into more flat ground, we can maybe do a food plot or something with it. And I mean, this is like, I know the camera doesn't do it justice, how big this actually is. But if you remember the trail that we made that went from that side of my property to here, this was the trail. And now it's really not a trail and the lighting's not good. I know the sun's, but like, I mean, this wall's gotta be 30, 40 feet tall. I'm gonna try to get to this side of the sun so you can actually see a little bit more, but like, you guys tell how tall that is. I don't know if you guys can tell how tall that is. Like, okay, all right, yep, you got it. I mean, it's up there a ways. It is way up there, and then all this is dug out too. So they took all the dirt from here and used it to build the dam. He is gonna flatten this out. He's gonna make this look better, grade it, and he's gonna fix our road and just kind of like take this dirt and move it down here and make a nice road that goes up, that connects to the path that we spent all that time making that day. It's insane what you can actually get done though with like real equipment. I've got many excavators and skid loaders, which are cool, but like, that would have taken me at least 9 years to dig this much dirt out, in which they did it in just a couple days while I was gone, which is just absolutely insane. But anyways, you guys can see now all this dirt is missing. Means they've put it somewhere, which would be the dam, so we're gonna go there next. But I told him, yeah, smooth this out as much as you possibly can. If he can make this nice and even and flat, this would be a really cool area for a food plot too. I'm like all about the food plots yet. I've never planted one in my life, and was gonna do one this year and then basically procrastinated to the point where I'm not gonna do it anymore. But next year, this would make a really good spot. Because it'd be pretty big. I mean, it'd be a decent sized food plot. Plus you've got the pond there for water and obviously unlimited timber, which is where they hang out. So I don't know. I mean, even if we don't use it for a food plot, it's a nice little flat area. Honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, pew range would not be a bad idea right here either. You've got the high walls, the high banks for the backdrop, and you do have a lot of flat area. Obviously, if you take that bump out, you could be sitting way over there and shooting pews into this wall. And that would be like, I don't know, at least 100 or 200 yard shot. Like, you're not gonna get any long range stuff, but just to sight in the old AR or do some 9mm shooting, stuff like that. Now that I'm thinking about it, this wouldn't be a bad spot for that. It'd be nice and flat, and it's cool because you got the pond here. And anyways, I'm blabbering. There's your update. We got to go see the dam itself though, and see what that's looking like. I've yet to see it since they've really started doing all the dirt work. So you guys stay tuned. Shoo! Oh my gosh, this is insane. I did not expect anything like this. But before I show you what's over here, which is basically an almost finished pond, this is what this looks like now. This is where we were originally putting the cabin. I think we've changed our mind now, but again, nice flat area. We need to clear some of these trees out, but that's our trail for deer hunting. I know deer have been using it. We've said, actually, let me look for, look right here. What did I just say? Deer tracks. I was gonna say, let me look for tracks now that it's all dirt. Yeah, there's deer tracks right here too. I know they've been using it, shooting down the trails that we made. So this would be a really good area for, again, a food plot. And I'm even thinking maybe one of those towered, or I guess you could put it up in that tree, some type of deer stand, elevated deer stand right here, where they come walk down into the food plot and boom, you get it done. But basically this is, there's not really much going to be happening right here for now. Like I said, maybe food plot in the future, but looks like Chad just showed up and he's going to get to work today. But let me move this mule so he can get around here. But then this is where we're thinking the cabin's actually going to be here, which this is obviously all dirt. We're going to take this dirt out, move it, either use it for there or take it somewhere else or fill it in over there, but lower this down. So the reason why I wanted the cabin down here more, which is really not that much further than where we had it before, but if the cabin sits right here, you're gonna be able to see the pond. So now I basically just spoiled it. Here is the pond, and this is insane because it actually looks like pond now. This was such a crazy, messed up vision of mine. I didn't think it was gonna be possible, and now we have a pond. You can see how much water is already here. I mean, this is just purely from springs, seepage from the other pond, and then the overflow, which it's really, that water, we haven't had much rain or anything, so it's not like we've had a ton of runoff, which I'm planning on pulling some of. There's basically sandbags that block that pond from overflowing. I'm gonna try to take a couple of those off and really fill this guy. Chad's thinking this might take longer than I was thinking. I was thinking like, oh, it'll be full in a few weeks. He's like, unless we have some insane rains, you're probably talking mid to late next spring. Shit, I was planning on like stocking it this fall. Obviously, I'm a little optimistic, but you never know. It just depends how much water I can release from there without compromising that pond, because you don't want to lower that pond to where it's so low that when it freezes, we have winter kill. So you don't want to do that. But I plan on dropping that pond at least a foot or two, which should give this pond at least a few feet, because that pond's significantly larger. And then if we have some good rains this fall or some good early snows or something, that might help as well. But these trees all need to be removed. We weren't sure what to do with them. We set them there. We were planning on burning them. Now we're going to take them and we're going to set them up there in that flat area, which is where we're not really doing anything for a while. Let them dry out. Try to use some for firewood, because our cabin is going to be wood burning, stove heated or something. So we want to get them out of here because the water line, see, can you see that orange right there? That orange mark is 1 foot below where the water line's probably going to be, but it's about right there. And then alongside this, there's flags, and these flags. That's going to be your water line right here. So that gives you kind of an idea where the water is going to be sitting relatively to this. So it may not seem that deep, but he dug that down. That is now full of water. That's like 7 foot right there. Like you could actually throw some fish in there right now and they'd probably be okay. Winter, they may not be okay, but for like summer and stuff like that, they'd be fine. He's thinking in the middle there, that's where he dug down. He wanted to get some nice depth so we didn't have a winter kill. Ideally, we would have put some really big deep holes down there, but we weren't able to do that because it was too soft. He wasn't able to get the excavator in there. So he dug as much as he could here, which this is going to be at full pool around 15 to 20 feet. So that's plenty to keep fish alive. I mean, in the winter, I know where I'm ice fishing. It's gonna be right here because that's where all the fish are gonna be hanging out. But all that relatively is going to be, you know, 7, 8, 9 foot, which is, it doesn't sound very deep, but that's pretty much the depth of the other pond. The other pond runs between 8 to 10 feet most places, and then the channel runs around 15. So it's actually pretty similar to something like this. So it's really not that much different. But as you can see, the dam is pretty much complete. I think he said he's gonna add a couple more feet to it. We're gonna put a pipe over on that side to overflow down there, which is basically where this originally overflowed. So it doesn't really change anything with my neighbor's property or anything like that. It's gonna flow right into the same creek, so we shouldn't have any issues with that. But then we're also gonna try to flatten this out. So cabin's gonna be kind of tucked up in that corner, and then this will be nice and flat. So this would be like a kind of like a front yard, side yard for the cabin. So you could put a fire pit out here, you could put horseshoes out here, you could put whatever you wanted to do out here, bag toss, a grill out, picnic table, something like that. But ideally it's going to be tucked up in that corner, leveled out, and then this would be nice and flat, and then it'll kind of grade off. So again, this will be like, you come in, you'd park here and you'd go walk into the cabin. That's kind of the idea. So we're not going to really do much up there yet. So I think that's going to be more of the hunting camp. So you come down here, you sleep at the cabin, you walk up the hill, you jump in the tree stand, and the deer come down to the food plot. I think it'd be pretty sweet. This is obviously talking about next deer season, but this is just absolutely insane. Like, we have a pond now, folks. This is crazy. I cannot believe it. This was such a crazy vision. And Chad, he is unbelievable. Like, he made it look so stinking easy. Coming out here, building it up perfect. He said the dirt that we've got, oh, look at this. You got deer right there. The dirt we've got, he said, packs absolutely tremendous, so that's good. We don't have to worry about too much seepage or anything like that. But then the other thing that we're thinking is through here is actually kind of where, if you're going, I know it's kind of hard because you guys don't really see everything that I'm doing when I'm driving, but basically when I'm driving down to the pond, you're going straight for a long time, and then you take, well, it'd be this right, but it'd be left towards the pond to the boat ramp. That's that road. So I'm thinking, I might ask Chad if he would do it, is he should make a road all the way up. So when we're trying to come to here, we don't have to shoot all the way across the dam, go across the bridge, go up where all that equipment is, and back down to here. We literally could just shoot straight from my house, down the trail, right to here, cut across the dam, and you're out there. So like, basically we're making a huge loop now where you could get out both directions or leave both directions and be a lot faster. So that's an idea I just came up with. So I'll see what he thinks about that. But I think it would work. I think we're just gonna have to kind of flatten this out and maybe take the excavator and kind of dig some of those trees out and bring some dirt. But basically we're gonna build a road that's gonna take us essentially to the boat ramp of what hawk? That hawk is pissed. But we're gonna make a road right here that goes to that boat ramp for the other pond, if that makes sense. I know I'm doing a lot of talking and stuff. I'm trying to just explain to you, let you guys mentally wrap your head around the plans. It's really hard to showcase this on YouTube and show you guys what I'm seeing and giving you guys my vision. I've been trying really hard since we thought of this idea to kind of lay out my plan, my idea, and then obviously use the drone and the cameras, the GoPros, all the B-rolls and stuff like that to kind of showcase essentially what, you know, it actually unfolding and happening. So Lucy, what do you think of the new pond, buddy? You like your new pond? You like the new pond? Go get in the pond. Go get him. You go get in the pond. Here, Lucy, you want this? You want this? Ready? Ready? Fetch. Go get it. Fetch it up. She's gonna be disappointed because that was a clump of dirt that probably sank. Oh, you got it. Yeah, come on, you got it. Come on. Yeah, come on. Good girl, Lucy. Look at her. Good girl, buddy. Yeah, you got it. Come on. I know I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't throw clumps of dirt because then she can't actually retrieve anything. I should have just found a stick. I was just being lazy. But look, now you can see, I know that sun's pretty bad, but you can see her swimming. It is a legitimate pond right now. It just, it needs to be raised up, but we want to finish the dam first, get the cabin area finished, dam finished, road finished, pipe put in, and then release the water, fill it up. Hopefully it gets full this fall, enough to where I can throw some fish in it. That would be ideal. But with that being said, that's your guys' update for the day. I'm gonna go ahead and keep filming for you. I don't know how long this video is, but I'm gonna keep documenting what they're doing. So you guys stay tuned. Well, folks, we're headed back down to the pond. Well, we got Millie and Lucy with us, but I wanted to show you guys the dam guys. They just left, and so I'm gonna come down and kind of check out what they did. But just to show you guys what I was talking about earlier, so here's the pond, obviously, right? Like, this came down from my house. We've got the pond. So they built this road. I didn't really film much of them building it. They built it right away. But the road is basically straight through here. So you see, normally we'd go across the dam and go across there. Sorry, it's windy if you guys hear the wind. But see, this is the road they built. This is my first time seeing it. So basically, now if we want to get to the pond, we don't have to go across the other pond dam, across the sketchy bridge, through the hills. We can just shoot straight down. Beautiful little path that they made. It's amazing what happens when you've got big equipment versus small equipment. I think I said that already, but it's just absolutely incredible. So there you have it. Look, now we're down to the pond. You can see the pond right here, starting to kind of fill up, do its thing, and there's the dam. So there's another perspective, another view for you. But I wanted to come down this way because one, it's quicker, and two, just to show you guys basically what they did. I told you guys about it earlier, how they're gonna try to build a road right there, and well, they did. So I'm up on the dam now. They added a couple feet. Actually seems like quite a bit that they added here. And then you guys saw they tore out basically the side of this hill. So this morning when I was filming earlier, you guys saw it. It's all these trees were here, they cleared it all out. So that's basically where, and they sloped it all down. So it's not super steep, but at the same time, it gives me enough flat ground. I'll shut this thing off. How do you do this thing? There, I don't feel like I'm yelling. So basically this is where the cabin, obviously it's gonna need to be flattened out more, but they'll sit here and they can grade it and stuff later. And there's probably still more. They talked about pushing some of that down here to flatten, to like make the incline a little bit less than it is now. But this is essentially where the cabin is now going to go. Right where Lucy's peeing is where the cabin's gonna go. So right in here, again, it doesn't need to be super flat because we're going to build it up on posts, put posts in the ground and build it up. So that way you can kind of leave the slope. Obviously you're going to have a lot of drainage. You're going to want it to run down that way, and you're going to want it to run around the cabin. So, but essentially the cabin's going to be somewhere right around where I'm standing. Plenty of space here for it. And then you're going to have a road in front of it. Like I said, then you're going to have a little side yard and a little side yard there. So that's pretty much it for this episode, folks. I mean, there's a lot more to do. Like I said, they took off. They've got to, I mean, finish up the rest of that. And then what I showed you earlier where that big 6-wheeled truck is parked, that's all going to have to be finished. So we'll keep you guys updated. But essentially, the pond is essentially done, the dam-wise. it's essentially done. We won't really have to do too much more besides put in the pipe and kind of smooth everything out just a little bit. But for the most part, the pond in and of itself is done. I was planning on making like multiple videos for building the pond, and these dudes pretty much knocked it out in 1 week, to where I didn't want to like drag it out too much. I didn't want to be like, oh, part 2 is building up the dam, part 3 is finishing the dam, because like essentially it's all one thing and it's just moving a bunch of dirt. But up here, I'm still planning on that all needs to be cleared out as well, but I'd like to put some type of food plot. It's not going to be big because we had to kind of eat up some of the space in order to get this flat. We had to eat up some of that space, so it's not a huge food plot, and I know I'm not an expert in the food plot thing. I keep talking about it, but it is a decent idea. And even if we don't put a food plot there, it'd be a really good spot to put some form of hunting blind to then shoot the deer that come down those trails, and then they come and drink the water from the pond. So again, still a lot more to do. These trees need to go. Everything just needs a little bit more grading work, but for the most part, the bulk of it is done. It is ready basically to fill up and stock with fish. So I'm gonna keep you guys updated as we keep going. But remember, if you guys want any beefcake merch, it will be linked down below. We do have a drop coming out on October 20th, so mark your calendars for this, what I'm wearing here, this what I'm wearing here, all the construction stuff. There's a bunch of new designs. I'll pop them up here. So all those are going to be available on October 20th, and you can get 10% off by using promo code FLAIR at checkout. So put promo code FLAIR in at checkout to get 10% off, and October 20th is the new drop. So hopefully you guys are enjoying the pond building series. We try to make it as cool as we possibly could with drones, GoPros, and B-roll and all sorts of other stuff. And there's, like I said, there's still a lot more construction to do, but this is where I'm going to kind of wrap up the pond build, and then after this is going to be essentially clearing a lot of stuff up, finalizing it. But we got to still put structure in it. We've got some really nice trees here, some nice cedars there that we had to take out to clear all this out, that I would like to put back in there. Down in that deep hole would be nice to have some nice brush piles, some type of boulders, some rocks, some crushed concrete, all sorts of stuff. I've never built a pond from scratch of this size, so it's easier now that it's, I mean, I wouldn't say it's dry, but I could get a four-wheeler through there, and basically we can set up a bunch of structure before we flood it. Then we got to flood it, then we got to put fish in it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed episode number 2, building the pond. Hopefully we're gonna get this thing wrapped up. And then the cabin, you guys may be wondering about the cabin. It is on order. I bought it literally off the internet. It comes in a big kit, and it's supposed to take 2 beefcakes 90 hours to assemble, meaning me, Pool Jet, and Austin being 3 beefcakes, probably about 300 hours. But we're hopefully going to be getting that pretty soon here, and then once it's delivered, bring all the materials down and get to building. We're going to build our butts off this fall. Hopefully you guys are excited. It's going to be hunting, it's going to be fishing, it's going to be trapping and building this fall, all fall long. That is what you guys can expect on this channel. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. We'll catch you in the next one, and peace.